I heard. Aratak told me about Araya.
I'm sorry, Neltuk.
No apologies. Aratak said that in the end she was filled with the blue light. She got what she always wanted, didn't she? Each time I doubt my way forward, I think I should seek her guidance. And then I remember. The only guidance I'll receive is my own. Which will have to be good enough. There's much to do.
The Fire Claws. Aratak asked me to help hunt them down.
It's a dire task, but it occupies my attention, so I suppose I'm grateful for it. My scouts have tracked them across the cut.
I'd like to think you're right, Neltuk. About Araya getting what she wanted.
I'm sure she did. All her victories. Surviving the Karja, communing with the spirit, defeating the daemon. Every goal she ever set for herself, she accomplished. And in the end, she was rewarded with the blue light itself. The songs say that our bodies are poor vessels for the light. Our hearts are too dark. But at least for a moment, before she passed, I hope she felt what it was like to be part of it.
You don't sound like you trust yourself to take Araya's place.
Araya inspired. Whatever we encountered, the new machines, the slaughter at Thunder's drum, we knew we would endure. Because she had endured worse. I don't know that I have her confidence. Trust is earned, Aloy. Even in oneself.
You earned Araya's trust, didn't you? She believed you were up to this. And so do I.
Do you?
I wouldn't have said it if I hadn't meant it.
And I suppose I'd better live up to your expectations.
I've already found the Fire Claws in Altuk. It's over.
That's it then. That's the last of the daemon's work washed away. The last notes of Araya's song sung. The cut is a safer place to live because of what you've accomplished. And now it's time to start anew.
I'm glad I could be a part of it.
As are we all, Aloy. Thank you.
Ursus Americanus, the magnificent American black bear. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
Beautiful. How fierce you must have been. That fur. You never even felt the cold, did you? If he hadn't preserved you, would anyone even know you'd disappeared?
Visitor Center's a bust. I'm recording the strategic and operational value at roughly 0 point squat. No reason we shouldn't pack the staff onto a vert and send them back to Nowheresville as soon as the gates are locked. Enjoy basic income, ding-dongs.
I hate to interrupt.
Oh, Yes. Hello, an outlander at the Shrine of Forgotten Beasts. Welcome. I'm Enjuk.
Aloy. The Shrine of what?
When the old world still breathed, a great man built a tiny totem to this beast. and stored the visage inside. When the totem is placed on the pedestal, the animal is painted onto the empty air, and the beast lives again. Well, almost.
There are 7 pedestals. Where are the other 6 figurines?
I found this one in the wilds. Remembered the indentations in the pedestals here, and saw how they matched the base of the totem. But as you say, it's one of 7, isn't it? The great Montana recreations must have made more, but time has scattered them.
So these totems, the images they show are of animals that no longer exist. They're gone, like the old ones.
So it seems. To think such magnificent creatures are lost to us, that we never even knew they were here. We rely as much on beasts as we do on machines. For food, for warmth, but do we study them with the same fervor? I do. For example, I have this theory about foxes. Why do foxes have red fur? Think about what they eat.
Meat?
Raw meat. Bloody meat. See? Natural causation. Logical connections. It only makes sense.
You've thought a lot more about foxes than I have. You said a great man made these figurines?
Indeed. He was, I believe, a student of the natural world. Like me. But surpassing my abilities 1,000 times over. The great Montana recreations. Perhaps the finest natural scholar the old world ever produced. His voice claims responsibility for the totems, the vessels for the knowledge he accumulated. I share his desire to understand the beasts, to catalog their behaviors and preserve their images. I like to flatter myself that I'm an apprentice of sorts, carrying on his work. Someday, perhaps, if I am persistent, I can earn his name. Enjuk Recreations.
I have 6 figurines like this one. Maybe these are what you're looking for?
Blue light. I didn't know if I'd ever see the whole collection reunited. And look at them. They're beautiful. You've done a great thing, Aloy. These may represent the last record that any of these beasts ever lived. Take this. It's the least I can do. And come back anytime. I and our animal friends await your return.
That's all for now.
Until next time, then.
Ursus americanus, the magnificent American black bear. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
How would you like to find yourself cornered by that thing?
I suspect I'd like it very much indeed. What a beautiful beast you were.
Puma concalor, the fearsome cougar. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
Its coat is sand-colored. Could it have been a burrowing animal? Perhaps those teeth were only used for digging.
Bison, bison, bison. That's the actual Latin name of the regal American bison. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
Latin? Perhaps that's some sort of old world custom in which one repeats the name of a particularly revered animal.
Ursus arctos, the menacing grizzly bear. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
Those claws look like they could rip someone in half.
Perhaps in its youth, but you heard Montana recreations. He said it's grizzled, old. Its hunting days are behind it.
Odocoleus virginianus, the majestic mule deer. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
Not built like a predator, but perhaps it needed those horns to take down its prey in the absence of sharp fangs.
Canis lupus, the enigmatic gray wolf. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
Could it be that these wolves and our foxes are the same somehow? Perhaps after hundreds of winters. No, that's ridiculous.
Alces alces, the noble moose. Brought to you by Montana Recreations.
The horns grow like trees. Of course, this moose used those bizarre growths to blend in with its forest home.
When the old ones were fresh in their graves and our numbers were still small, it was she who led us through the frozen wastes. We also remember the ravenous tribe, who delighted in sucking the marrow from our broken bones. Everywhere Banukai and her Werak fled, the ravenous tribe were never far behind. Seeking a way to defeat them, Banukai went into the wastes and let the wind whip her cheeks. And when the cold brought sleep, she dreamt of light. She saw it behind the world, a great calming sheet of icy blue. And she saw something new. Herds of machines, each filled with the same blue light. When she woke, she knew which star to follow. She walked for many days and nights until she arrived at a temple built from sparkling ice. At the gates of the temple, she was met by the machines from her dream, who bowed to her as she entered. Inside, Banukai discovered the blue light bubbling from a hole in the snowy earth like a spring. "You bid me come," she said. "My people need aid. Will you provide it?" The machines whispered to Banukai. "We go where the light goes, for we are its chosen vessels. There is darkness in your heart. It cannot hold the light for long. Carry it to your people if you must, but the cost will be great." Banukai waded into the pool. The light reared like a nest of snakes and struck Banukai, piercing her skin, filling her up. Banukai did not scream, though she was in agony. Banukai did not collapse, though her limbs shook. She climbed from the pool and carried the light inside her. She marched toward home, and the machines marched behind her. As she walked, the light struggled to push its way out of her, but the machines were there to aid her. She sewed her body shut with their cables, patched herself with their metal, and kept the light within. When she arrived, the forces of the ravenous tribe had surrounded the camp. Although the light had left her with 1,000 wounds, Banukai charged. And because she held the light, the machines followed. The ravenous tribe killed many, but those in camp rushed to join the battle. They gathered pieces of the fallen machines and from them fashioned weapons. And it was with these that Banukai's people repaid the suffering the ravenous tribe had wrought upon them. When quiet descended, Banukai finally fell. The machines bowed their heads, and her Werak wept. The light she'd held within her drifted from her wounds and rose to the sky, and for just a moment, before life left her, Banukai knew the truth of the blue light, and she felt peace. We remember Banukai, the first to crawl from the cave beneath the world, brought the machines to us. When we speak the name of our tribe,
Yes, fine. Spend on your short Welcome, stranger. May the cut be kind to you.
Sakuli wastes her time. Painted cliff or no painted cliff, the challenges we face remain. Better to die with your bowstring drawn than to live with it left untouched.
Quite a view you've got up here.
It's a useful perspective. How fleeting we are when the world is so wide. From up here, you can see how the light paints across the land. Ever-changing. That's a lesson. All our marks will pass.
That outlook sounds a little depressing for a painter.
Haven't met many artists, have you? Song's edge needs new stories. I scrubbed its past off this rock to start anew. But a new start needs new colors. Fresh pigments. Like none have seen.
Have you always been a painter?
I've always painted. But I wasn't a painter until I was driven out of Banur. Up there, the markings are eternal. They paint over the same lines, the same colors, over and over. As a child, I learned from copying them. As I grew, my heart sank at the familiarity. All of us Banuk might as well be trapped in glacier ice. We have the look of life, but never really moving.
The Banuk rock paintings are impressive, but,
You want to know what they mean. That's not the right question, but I'll answer anyway. Some are a call to the machines. The sacred shapes you see on metal casings, or on a cauldron door.
Do the machines listen to the call?
I don't know. Others, like mine, are a call to the tribe. You could say inspiration or prophecy. And sometimes even men listen, if the painting is loud enough.
These pigments you want. Where should I look for them?
Salts gather at the edges of geysers and hot pools. Crystals cling to the rocks and cliffs. Would you look at that, Nora girl? You've bought me all I need. Do you always travel with your pockets full of paint stuffs?
Honestly, Sakuli, I go around filling my pockets with most of everything.
Stop. I'm beginning to like you. I work alone, but come back around later, and I'll have something for you then.
That's me.
Maybe it's a machine rider who looks like you.
Where's she going?
You tell me. To ruins or mountains, through flood or thaw, past, future, destiny. But I don't think she's scared of any of it. You helped me. Inspired me. And the people of the Cut. Let this be inspiration for you, wherever you may run.
Stand around and talk, or do we have responsibilities to attend to?
When the old ones were fresh in their grave and our numbers were still small. It was she who led us through the frozen. Wastes. We also remember the ravenous tribe.
Don't forget the map